Welcome to End the Conversation. My name is Shawn Edwards, Critics' Choice Association member, and I'm here with the directors of Superman, the Christopher Reeve Story. A lot of people are familiar with Christopher's story. A lot of people knew about his career. He was larger than life for a lot of people. They knew his movies. They knew a lot about his personal life. And then they found out about what happened to him when he had the tragic accident. What was your challenge to sort of make this story, make this documentary fresh, starting with you, Peter?
Well, we kind of knew that story ourselves. We were in exactly the same position that you described for most people in the audience. So our challenge was to take that sort of like the outside, the edifice of that story, and go deep inside it and tell it from the inside out rather than just repeating what people already knew about Christopher's story. That was the challenge, and the key to rising to that challenge was having this extraordinary relationship that we had with Christopher's three children, Matthew, Alexandra, and Will, and also them sort of unlocking the doors to the family vaults and giving us such extraordinary archive. I think their willingness to bare their hearts and souls on screen and this extraordinary cache of archive really enabled us to, as I say, go tell the story from the inside out.
And Ian, did you have access to the archives before you went into the project, or was it something you had to gain access to?
No, luckily the archive and the full sort of readiness from the family to take part came with the project. So that was worked out by other of the producer to actually get to there. And when everyone was trusting each other, them, the family with us and us with them, it was pretty easy to just get on the journey together. But again, the film has got a lot more aspect to it. We've created some special visuals for the film, and the way we crafted the music with our our composer Ilan Eshkeri, is that there's a lot of things that Superman is such a famous and known iconography, biopic, and so much information, as you rightly said so earlier, unknown about Chris. We wanted to make our own film. We wanted to have our own personal stamp on it, and that was through the narrative structure that Peter alluded to, and the visuals that we injected, creating those CGI elements, and how we crafted the music to take us on an emotional journey.
How hard was it not to fall into the trap, to really fall too heavily on his Superman persona? Because you chose the title of Superman, not Superman as Superman the character, but super as in he's a man who's super. So how hard was it not to just get sucked into that and tell a balanced story?
Well, I tell you, we when we actually started working on the film, the thing that we found, we're film geeks, so of course we love that story, and getting to meet Pierre Spengler, the producer of Superman, was like just like a holy grail moment for us, a fanboy interview of epic proportions. But actually, we decided very early on that the three-act story of this film starts with Christopher just after the accident, and kind of in despair, trying to argue that maybe life support should be switched off, through this extraordinary story of how he discovers a reason to live in his wonderful wife Dana and his three kids, and then how, having discovered a reason to live, he discovers a purpose to live, which is that he will somehow come back and walk again on one level, something that never happens but always animates and motivates him, and on the other hand, how to use his superpower of fame around the role that he had once made his own to galvanize the scientific and medical community, and to kind of like become a voice for people living with disabilities in America, and through his foundation. It's such an extraordinary, in the face of the greatest tragedy, that somebody does something so extraordinary with what is left of their life. That became to us the true story, which meant that it was never, we always knew we were going to have wonderful moments of Superman, but somehow that wasn't the core story.
Excellent. And for you, Ian, from start to finish, how long was the filmmaking project?
Oh, actually, it wasn't that long. We were looking into it again. I think we shot our first interview December, a year and a half ago. We finished the film last December, and we started before. So I'd say 15 months. We started a few months before, I think September. So 15 months, because we had to get the film ready for Sundance. But Peter and I, the way we work, we had taken a while from our previous film. Our previous film came out in 2020. So we had taken a while finding the real story we wanted to talk about. But when we have, we like a dog with a bone, when we have something that really we're passionate about, and we think our style and our ideas and our vision can do justice to, we'd rather get on with it and put all of our energy. And I think there's a momentum with your team. You know, you get everyone, very talented people. We've got an extremely talented editor, Otto Bonham. I was mentioning about the special effects, the composer. You just want to push everyone in the right direction and work. So we don't like them to last too long. You know, to overstay is welcome. Emotionally as well, it's quite draining because the film is so emotional. So even for us, we put a lot of ourselves. You know, you have to live with that story, and there's such tragic elements to that story. You have to play with those elements, where they're going to sit in the film and how your audience is going to perceive them. So all of that, I think 18 months is a good time for us to completely go in and digest and then come out with something.
And it means we can't agonize over decisions. We can't over intellectualize decisions, which is I would naturally do. But you have to go much more with your instinct. You have to make decisions
naturally
quickly.
Okay, fantastic. Well, tell me this, and I would like both of you to answer this question as we come to an end with this conversation. What's the one thing that you learned about Christopher that you didn't know going in while you were working and researching for the film that really stuck with you long after you finished this project?
Do you know what? Actually, that's slightly different answer. I was, with the accent, I'm half Swiss, half French, but obviously French speaking. And my mom passed away in March, and I was in my village, and I have to spend a lot of time in the village where she's from, you know, sorting out all the things and the affairs and etc. And I've been in the UK for 27 years, and no one in my village and no one I've come across traveling recently do not know Christopher Reeve. Everybody knows. You know, you go through many parts, and that gets you thinking, why are they known? Yes, Superman is quite famous, but a lot of people knew about the accident. So the accident was shocking for a lot of people around the world. And it just really makes you feel that actually you've made a very universal story. Many people are going to find something that fit with them, because as Peter said, a lot of people are going to face some sort of tragedies, bereavement and things like this. And that film answers and just show how some people have coped with it. And I think that's one of the things for me.
I mean, for me, there was so much, but I suppose I vaguely knew that there was this connection with Robin Williams when we started. I didn't realize quite the extent of their friendship and what they each gave the other. And how Christopher was probably more of a man of the mind. He was more cerebral. He was very driven and very dependable, and he gave that solidity in a way. He was a rock to Robin, and Robin gave Christopher this sort of like life-enhancing, anarchic humor that Christopher just loved. Obviously, you see them together, and you see Christopher laughing at Robin, delighting in his friend, and you know, I think that friendship. And the fact that we were then able to strike a relationship with Marsha Williams, who gave us some beautiful archive of the two of them together, I think that was something that was I learned a lot about, and I think that really told us something not just about Christopher, but also about Robin Williams.
Well, thank you so much, Peter, and thank you much, Ian, for joining me today. It's been a fantastic conversation, and what a fabulous film. Congratulations.
Thank you very much
so
for
much.
your time.
That's lovely. Thank you.